everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Popcorn Problems. My name is Elon Pressman, and I'm here with my very good friend and fellow co-host,
Nicholas DePasco. Every week, we'll make sure you're caught up with the biggest news and movies in Hollywood.
This week, we're reviewing Caught Stealing, one of this weekend's big new releases. But before we get to that, what's Poppin', where we run through the biggest movie stories of the week. So let's start with going over with this week's box office. This was over Labor Day weekend. At number 1, we have Weapons. It reclaimed the spot from K-Pop Demon Hunters, who took it last week. K-Pop Demon Hunters is not on the list this week. It was only a 1 week
As it should.
event. So Weapons got number 1 with $12.8 million in domestic earnings. It is one of the longest... it is the longest running chart topper of 2025 so far, which is really cool.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I did not know that. Well deserved. For an original IP, too. Very glad about that.
Yeah. Domestically, it's at 132.4 million, and it's 13th on the top of the year grossing. So
to be fair, it also released at a very good time because nothing major has released ever since Weapons has come out. I don't.
That's true. So I think Weapons released when August 8th, so maybe almost a month ago.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's had almost a whole month to kind of play for itself and to make all that money. So good on that. Good on that movie.
Good timing. It's just insane timing.
Yeah. So at number 2 is quite an interesting spot. It's the Jaws 50th anniversary re-release.
Wow.
With 9.9 million at the box office. I really wanted to go catch this weekend. I wasn't able to. Mm-hmm. I think you mentioned that you have something to talk about later relating to Jaws, so we'll kind of wait for that. But that was... I think it's cool that all these old movies are coming back into theaters and they keep making money. I remember when the Star Wars movie, which one was it? Revenge of the Sith, dropped in April this year. I'm pretty sure it was also number 1 that weekend as well. So I just love it when these old movies are coming back and making a ton of money.
For sure, yeah. I mean, and it sends messages to the companies. Maybe not the right messages, but it sends messages to companies hey, we like this good shit. We like when you make good movies. Yeah, we don't like slop.
Yeah, exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. And then in third place is Caught Stealing, the movie that we're gonna be reviewing today, with 9.6 million. It opened, I believe, 1 or 2 spots above The Roses, which is another movie that released last weekend. I don't even think Toxic Avenger was in the top 10. I didn't see it.
I'm not surprised at all. Yeah. Barely got any marketing, and I've literally heard nobody else talk about it.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised.
Disappointing.
But yeah, the Roses opened either in 4 or 5 and with 8 million. Kind of a boring weekend, I guess, at the box office. Nothing too interesting. That's why Weapons was able to take that top spot, and it's gonna be a little boring for the next few weekends. I think the next big release is going to be the 19th with that romance movie with Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie, and also the Jordan Peele produced horror movie.
Hot take, I don't think that movie is going to be crazy massive.
Which one? Him?
The Margot... No. Him to do well. But the Margot Big Bold Beautiful Journey or whatever that's called.
I don't think it's going to do well. Well, it might do well. I just think it's going to be a really good movie. I'm really excited for that movie.
I'm middling. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to come out. From what I've seen from the trailers, I don't even think I've seen a full trailer yet. But from what I've seen, it doesn't really catch my eye too much. I'm still gonna watch it, just I guess out of obligation. But I don't know. I'm not holding my breath with it.
Right. So that's that with box office. I'm gonna move into the news stories for this episode. I have 3 I want to talk about. The first one is not really a news story. It's more I want to discuss a trailer. Did you watch the Marvel Zombies trailer that dropped today, Nick?
I have not. I've seen... Okay, I did see the clip of Blade, killing Ghost, I guess? Yeah. And I thought it was really well animated, especially consider... not just well animated in terms of, the motion, but, really well shot, really well composed. A lot of it is, I was impressed. I was impressed by it, especially with the same style of What If, which me personally I didn't like at all. I thought it was really ugly. Having that sort of style with this darker, grittier tone, I'm impressed. I like it. I will be watching. I haven't even seen the full trailer, just that little clip, but I will be watching.
Okay. So, that's interesting. So I'm going to just give a little bit of context of what exactly Marvel Zombies is, because I don't know if everyone listening is going to know. In 2021, Season 1 of What If released, and then What If is a show, it's an animated spin-off show of, like, the MCU, where pretty much they just do random scenarios and just show what would happen. It's like a multiverse show, where just every episode is, like, a different scenario of, like, what if this happened? What if this person was this character? Whatever. It was a really underwhelming show. They never really utilized the concept to its fullest potential. I feel like I have a lot of issues with that show. That's not what I'm talking about right now. But in Season 1, there was an episode called Marvel Zombies. And then a few months after that first season premiered, they announced they were making a spin-off project called Marvel Zombies. That was in 2021, and we are in September of 2025. And this was, I think, the first time we've gotten a look at that project. It's supposed to be dropping like later this month, and we just now got a trailer.
That's insane.
Yeah, which is shocking because I don't feel like Marvel's the brand to just dump their content to die, but that's just where we are now with Marvel and just kind of how they release their stuff.
I mean, at this point in the MCU as well, like, sorry to cut you off.
No,
but,
you're
like,
good.
They don't really care unless it has to directly do with like Doomsday or one of their big names like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, whatever it is. They don't really care about this like other spin-off bullshit shit. Like look at what they're doing with Wonder Man. That's supposed to come out I think in December, October, like end of year, and all we've seen is like a little Disney Plus snippet compilation that isn't even a full trailer. It's just like a few scenes. And me personally, I'm excited for that show of what the potential of it could be. But I've seen nothing, and I've heard nothing, and that really saddens me, because I want people to watch that show.
Yeah, and then Marvel will take the wrong lessons. They'll see these cool characters who don't get much viewership, and then they'll never show up again. And it doesn't make sense. But anyway, so talking about this specific trailer, I think it looks good. Good, because I cannot stand the art style of What If. And so
Fair.
I was really hoping, and I knew they weren't going to, but I was really hoping that they would change from this like ugly art style that they've been using for their animated projects to maybe something more
lazy,
something grittier, maybe darker to fit the tone. It is a TVMA show, and they made that clear in the trailer. And I'm not saying the trailer doesn't look cool. I told you, I think it looks good. I think there's some really cool parts. There's some characters that we haven't seen in a while that I'm excited to see again. Spider-Man's in it, as you mentioned, Blade's in it, so there's cool characters. There's just one really cool move that they had of Spider-Man with his webs, like yanking off some zombie heads in the trailers. It looks sick.
Okay.
But it just looks ugly, and it does look more polished than that first time we saw the zombies in the What If show. Yeah. But it's just, I don't like the style. And I guess there's nothing that we can really do. I guess that's the Marvel, the Marvel animation style that they're going to be going with, because they did the What If show, they did the Wakanda show, which I didn't watch because of the art style.
Well, actually, the art style in the Wakanda show is, I mean, the design, the art style itself, like the animation and the way that it looks, isn't that different. But the designs of the characters is different. Like, they have a more cartoony, like, big-headed, different proportions, like, sort of things for the Wakanda show, which I also didn't really like, but I could at least appreciate that they were doing, like, something different with it.
Okay, interesting.
At least straying away from the What If style, which I'm in agreement with you that I think it's pretty ugly. I think it's also just like lazy. It's just a lazy art
style. It's definitely
lazy.
Lazy. It's very lazy.
For sure.
Lazy.
I did just finish watching the trailer right now as you were talking, and yeah, I agree. It looks ugly. It looks. I do think the Spider-Man move does look cool, and
yeah,
like I said, like the darker
it does look
tone,
really sick.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I like about these like animated Marvel shows, is that they can really like go all out with their characters and like do whatever they want with them. But I don't think they're going to do that anymore. I mean, maybe they might do something.
They haven't yet. That's my issue.
They haven't.
What if they haven't?
Yeah.
It was a misutilized concept, and so maybe they'll fix that in the show where they'll really, really, since it's a TVMA, like multiversal story, off world, whatever, they can really, let shit go ham, and we see some of that in the trailer, but I need to see it before I'm sold.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't even watch What If because of that. Like, I think I watched like 1 or 2 episodes, and I was like, I'm bored. I'm bored, and it's ugly, and I don't want to watch this anymore. This is a nothing burger of a show, and it's not going to mean anything, and I'm just not going to watch it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But for Marvel Zombies, I'll watch like 2 episodes, maybe, see if I like it. We'll see from there on.
Cool. So that's that with Marvel Zombies. The next thing I want to get into is more from the Venice Film Festival, which is going on right now. Last episode, we talked about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which just premiered with a 15-minute standing ovation. And then today, or no, either today or yesterday or the day before, one of these days, the movie The Smashing Machine premiered, which is the Dwayne The Rock Johnson Oscar movie, the one that he's really trying to win that Oscar for. It's directed by Benny Safdie, and apparently it's really good. Like I said, 15-minute standing ovation. Critics are already giving it like talk of Oscar buzz.
It's 100% on Rotten Tomato, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, here I have it around 89, so maybe it went up or down.
Oh, maybe it went down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. But pretty much, The Rock, he was crying in tears during the ovation, right next to Emily Blunt, who co-stars in the movie, and right next to Mark Kerr, which is the fighter that he's portraying in the movie. I'm decently excited for this movie. I've never really liked The Rock as an actor particularly, but I'm not going to lie, the trailer, I think, for this movie looks really good, and I'm excited. I mean, I was waiting for the first reviews to be coming out, and it seems positive. So maybe The Rock locked in. Maybe The Rock locked in.
For sure. I mean, I'm actually quite excited for this film. I don't really care for The Rock as like an actor or even a person. He's like all right. He's just another celebrity that exists for me. What I'm more excited about is seeing the directorial debut, I guess, of Benny Safdie, by himself, and kind of like what happened with Honey Don't and the Coen brothers. I'm just interested to see how these like duo directors work alone, and like what aspects of I guess themselves they attribute to a combination movie, like for example Uncut Gems or anything really that the Safdie brothers have done. I like watching these individual films, understanding who they are more as people, and then applying that to their previous films and saying like, oh, okay, so like you contributed that. That's like what I'm more excited about the Smashing Machine. The story itself, I don't really care. The Rock itself, I don't really care. The trailer does look good. I'm excited to watch it. I guess for more I guess technical reasons than like actually enjoying the film. But
I think it is really cool to note that the other Safdie brother has his movie coming out this year as well. It's the Marty Supreme movie with Timothée Chalamet that comes out Christmas Day.
And Tyler, the Creator, as well. He has a role.
Oh, he's in that too? I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, he's in that too. I think that's insane. I think I'm very interested in that.
That's
also
cool.
For that reason.
I think it's funny that for The Rock to find a role that for him to be actually taken seriously in, it just has to be a wrestler. Like he. Yeah,
I know, literally.
It's like he had to find a role that was particularly tailored to him to like get success, which is fine. But I don't know. I'm skeptical until I see the movie, and then I need to see him be good in something else till I actually start taking him seriously.
For sure. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I just hope this is the beginning of like something actually impressive for him to like, he said in an interview at Venice, he was like, oh, I'm like pigeonholed in by the Hollywood community of like only doing a certain type of character, a certain type of role, and it's like, bro, like you pick these roles. Like, I understand his thought process that like, oh, I just like do everything that everybody wants me else to do, but like, you also do these roles. You also have contracts where you literally can't lose fights. So don't be acting like you're doing this shit on yourself, dog.
Oh,
Like,
poor guy, man. Poor guy.
no, for real. Oh my god, bleeding hard over here. No,
Yeah.
I hope it's good. I hope his acting is good, and I hope this actually progresses him to another level. Because I'm not saying he could have potential. He really could. He could be on that John Cena level, but up to this point, he's not yet.
We gotta wait and see. So that's that with the Rock movie. The last piece of news I want to talk about is that Paramount, Skydance, and Activision Blizzard announced a deal to make a live-action Call of Duty movie. Did you hear about this? I believe this was today. This was this morning.
Okay.
They're aiming for the tone of Top Gun Maverick with a high budget and grounded action. And it's going to be one of Hollywood's boldest gaming to film adaptations.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just going to say, I think this was inevitable. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm excited.
I'm not. I never cared about
You're
Call
not?
of Duty. I never played the games as a kid. I wasn't even allowed. Bro, yeah, no. But like, I mean, to me, a Call of Duty game just sounds like every other war movie. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I know the differences. I know Call of Duty has been in the past, in the present, and in the future as well. They've had like different storylines, and I'm not gonna say none of them are interesting, especially because I haven't played them. But I just don't see the value of calling a movie, I guess, or like a war or an action movie, a Call of Duty movie, when I feel like you could just slap that on to like anything, any inherent movie with like guns and people fighting with them, and call it a Call of Duty movie and like make it a day. Like, there's nothing about Call of Duty specifically, at least to my knowledge, maybe other than like the Ghost character and like some logos here and there.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing about the Call of Duty game that is specifically iconographic. Like, for example, the Mario game being part of the Mario movie, like, you know, you could point out, like, oh, yeah, like,
Yeah.
that's from the Mario game, you know what I mean? But, like, I feel like Call of Duty is more about the people that play it and, like, the community that builds the game, other than, like, the actual game itself. Like, the actual game itself doesn't really matter.
That's a
at
good
least
assessment.
from my experience of it.
That's
So,
a good assessment of. That's a good assessment of how I would, like, talk about it. I guess my thing is that maybe that's like a benefit to this movie, is like they can use that high budget that they're gonna get because it's a Call of Duty movie and make a really cool war movie. Maybe they could even make it into like an anthology series where there's a bunch of Call of Duty movies and each one's a different war story. That would be
Sure.
awesome. I don't think they're gonna do that. Probably not. I'm still gonna be seated for day one. I mean, it's a Call of Duty movie. That's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing with these. That's the other thing too with these video game movies. Like, think of the most interesting idea that you could for a movie based on any video game, your favorite video game, right? It's this sprawling adventure with yada yada yada, this, that, and the other, and then they're gonna choose the least interesting aspect of it. Like, that's just the way that this shit goes, bro. So like I said, I really don't care. I'm probably gonna watch it. I couldn't care less though about the IP itself. Did you play a lot of Call of Duty as a kid?
Not really the stories. I play a lot of the multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
The one I play the most is Black Ops 3.
Okay.
Lot of gun game. That was the main game mode I played on there. They better bring Nuketown, which is like one of my favorite. No, my favorite map.
Real.
Dude, I would die if I saw that on the big screen. So it would all be worth it.
Like, I barely played. I played like with a few, like when I was in friends' houses type shit.
Mm-hmm.
But even I know Nuketown, bro, and I loved playing on that shit when I did. Like, that shit was cool.
Hell yeah! I mean, that's the map. That's the map.
Yeah, that's the main Call of Duty map. I guess so.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of What's Poppin'. And let's move into what we watched. I want to start off this week. Actually, what I'm going to talk about first is something that I literally just got home from watching maybe 30 minutes before filming this episode. I was able to watch The Dark Knight in theaters tonight, and it was such a good experience. It was so nice. To give some context, I wasn't awaiting this screening or anything. I was scrolling on my phone last night because I was like, I want to go watch something tomorrow night, and I see that they're having showings of The Dark Knight, and I'm like, holy shit! I got my ticket immediately. Turns out this whole month, every single day, they're like re-releasing like an old movie back into theaters. I know this Friday they have Interstellar. They have Citizen Kane playing at some point this month. Goodfellas, The Departed, just a bunch of these classic movies that that you would want to catch in theaters at some point in your life. They're putting them once a day into the movie theater. So I'm definitely going to be catching more of these throughout the month. But back to The Dark Knight, I had such a good time watching it in theaters. This was my first time ever watching it in theaters. The last time I saw this movie, I think, was like 2021, so maybe 4 years ago. It's been a while, and I just forgot how awesome this movie was. It's just so sick. It's so Batman. My only, complaints I had was, I don't know, after seeing, the Pattinson suit, the Dark Knight suit doesn't really live up to that, unfortunately.
Sure, I could see that.
Yeah, that's that, and then his voice is a little off in some parts, the Batman voice. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I think this is a perfect Batman movie.
I mean, yeah, this movie, and specifically, it's this depiction of Batman has become such a part of just Batman culture, and not even Batman culture, just superhero culture in general. That a lot of the times, I don't think when the movie first came out, I don't think really anybody really cared about the voice, or I mean cared in the sense of they thought it was funny, unless they were making jokes about it. I think during when it came out, people took it seriously, and yeah. It's not until now, until years later, when we have rewatchability.
It's a really nitpicky thing.
No, for sure. No, but I agree. I agree that the voice is kind of silly, but I think I think we only have that perspective from now, having this movie now instead of versus when it came out. You know what I mean?
It's silly, but it works, and that's why 100%. I'm not hating on it, because nothing in the movie doesn't work. Every aspect, they spin like gears. It flows so perfectly. The movie's 2.5 hours something. I wasn't bored for a second.
Mm-hmm.
It had such a quality and such a scale to it that I feel like most superheroes movies recently, up until honestly maybe this year, I feel like we've been on a really good streak of superhero movies. So when I say recently, I'm not talking about the recent ones. I'm talking about more the past few years.
Sure.
They've all felt kind of small in scale, or their stories were lackluster and their characters are not developed correctly. But every single character in this movie had a reason to be there. They all had a prominent something that they're adding to the movie.
Yeah.
And right when you think something's about to happen, something else happens that changes the way that the movie goes, and then it was just so good. I was having such a good time in that theater, surrounded by a bunch of Batman fans, and it was a great time. I'm not gonna lie. If you ever have the chance to go watch The Dark Knight in theaters, and I hope I do again, do. Just because watching that on the big screen it's something I'm not going to forget for a while.
No, man. Honestly, I'm jealous as fuck that you got to do that. Yeah, no. It sounds great, honestly. It sounds like a religious experience, bro.
It was. I think the last time I had such an awesome experience was rewatching Interstellar in IMAX this December. That was a different ethereal experience.
Yeah, for sure.
But this was awesome. Nolan just knows what he's doing, and it just got me that much more excited for the Odyssey next year.
Real.
As if that's even possible to get more excited for that. It somehow did. Yeah. So that's, I'm still honestly processing what I just watched, just because it was such a monumental movie. I had a great time with it.
I'm so glad you did, bro.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? What'd you watch this week?
The last thing I watched was this documentary released on Netflix about Katrina It's called Katrina Hell or High Water.
Like the hurricane.
Yes, the hurricane. Yeah, my bad.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, my bad. It's this like 3-episode documentary. Each episode is like an hour and a half long. I'm not much of a documentary person. I don't really indulge in them like that. But I really felt like this one made me care about the people, especially because I have a weird niche interest in like just tragedies in general, like the Titanic, like 9/11, just like in terms of like investigation, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really care about Katrina at all. I haven't really heard about Katrina. I've never done my own research on Katrina like that. And so I watched this documentary, also released like, I'm pretty sure on the 20th anniversary of when the actual storm hit. And just not really thinking much of it. I just watched it, not thinking much of it. But I really found myself caring for, New Orleans, the people of New Orleans, how exactly an event like this could have occurred, and the consequences of it. And I think the way that they went about, displaying information, very much through the people's perspective, very much through like the citizens of New Orleans, and specifically the poorer citizens of New Orleans who were like affected the most, and just like the whole process, hour by hour, of how everything happened. It genuinely impressed me, and it had me gripped throughout the whole thing. I will say that like the 3rd episode is the weakest one, I feel, from like the first two. The first two are more informational and more get to the point, while the 3rd episode, I think, either directed or at least executive produced by Spike Lee, was a lot more general, and was a lot more about the Black experience of Katrina and just like the effects of it, which is a completely valid take to have on it. But after having having it as the last episode, in contrast to the first 2 episodes being so to the point, being so like direct, I just felt like the 3rd episode just repeated a lot of information and just added a lot of stuff that I didn't really feel were entirely relevant to the tragedy as a whole. So it just kind of felt like a slog. But other than that, I enjoyed the documentary. I thought it was really nice, really well edited, really well made. And yeah, I was invested. Katrina, Hell and High Water.
Interesting. I've always been interested in Hurricane Katrina, so I actually might check that out. You said it was on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Cool. Katrina, Hell or High Water. Okay. So with that being said, let's move into our main feature, where we will start with a spoiler-free review of the film Caught Stealing, and then we will let you guys know when we're going to move into spoilers, and then give you guys a spoiler-filled review. So I'm going to start off this week with my thoughts on this movie. I had a good time with it. I would say even close to a great time with it. I think I haven't seen much of Darren Aronofsky's like filmography. I think the most recent one that I watched was The Whale. Is that his most recent movie?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. And I was mixed on The Whale. I think it has some interesting parts, but overall it's kind of a neither here or there film, I guess. I think this movie is a big step up from The Whale. I really liked Austin Butler in here. It's the first time that he's not like doing a character, where he's just kind of playing a guy, if that makes sense. He's not like, playing Elvis or playing the guy from Dune 2. Yeah, he's just a normal guy. And I think that was really cool to see out of him. I think he has not been in enough stuff yet to where he's overexposed. I'm really liking every little bit of Austin Butler I'm getting, and he was definitely the biggest standout out of this movie. I'm also just now realizing I didn't give you guys a quick story summary, so I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'm going to hop back into my thoughts. So here's a quick summary from the internet. When his punk rock neighbor asks him to take care of his cat for a few days, New York City bartender Hank Thompson suddenly finds himself caught in the middle of a motley crew of threatening gangsters who all want a piece of him. So, in case you didn't watch the movie, that's just a little summary, just so that you know what we're talking about. And I think a lot of the parts of this movie worked. I liked a lot of the twists. I really liked the punk rock neighbor character played by Matt Smith. I think he was really funny. He was definitely doing an over the top, British punk, like Hobie Brown from Into the Spider-Verse type of character.
Yeah.
But I don't know, he kind of stole every scene he was in. He was such a punchable guy. It was really funny. And I like the hijinks that the characters get into. I don't know. I was pretty intrigued. It is a dense movie. It's not too long of a movie, but it felt longer than the runtime just because so much was happening. So much was happening, and that could be seen as a bad thing. I think it's in between, I guess. It just is what it is. I feel like I'm rambling, so Nick, I'm going to give you some time to speak, and then we can kind of... Anyway, yeah, let's see. What do you think, Nick? What did you think of Caught Stealing?
So, I just came out of watching this movie. Fresh, completely fresh. And I did not like it.
You didn't? Okay.
I did not. I thought... there are a lot of things that you mentioned in which I agree, but I don't like the fact that it is. Like, I don't like the fact that it's so dense. I don't like the fact that it felt horribly long. It's not even a long movie. Like you said, it's an hour and 47 minutes, but it felt so long. I feel like it took forever for the main character, Austin Butler, to get from point A to point B in every single situation. And I didn't like his performance. I'm not going to lie.
You didn't like his performance. Okay.
I thought he was very one note. He didn't, like, I feel like he just kept playing like this cool guy persona, and there were moments few and far between where we actually got, like, I guess, emotionality from him, but other than that, it was he just sounded bored to me the whole time.
Really?
Even when something eventful was happening, even if something like crazy or kooky or whatever, he just either didn't talk or sounded bored, like sounded monotone. And I don't know if that's just like him as like a person, like if that's just like how he, I guess, like talks or does things, but for me it just didn't sell any it just didn't sell any of the emotion at all. And yeah, I didn't really like the characters. Okay, it's kind of hard to say because I also felt like I got so little of them. I wanted this movie to be more than what it is. Like, I wanted to get more out of, like, the relationships and, like, the archetypes and, like, the characters themselves, but it didn't give me it. It didn't give me it. Everything felt very superficial, very just like, this needed to be in the movie, so we're gonna put it in there without putting much thought as to why it works or what the history between these people are. The one thing I do agree with, though, Matt Smith was great. He was great. He was the stand. He was my favorite performance. He was my favorite character. I think the moments when him and Austin Butler are together in a scene, more towards the end, those were my favorite scenes of the film. Because there was an actual relationship going on. There was an actual dynamic there. Instead of just, I don't know, just a bunch of characters going off the wall bonkers without seemingly any direction. That's the other thing, too, that I felt like the movie felt pretty aimless throughout the whole thing.
I could see that for sure.
And yeah, I don't know. I really didn't connect with it. I really felt like it was just trying to be cool. Like, the whole movie was trying to be, like, cool and have this, like, persona, but it never shedded that, I don't know if that's the right word, but it never shedded that persona, and for me, it just lost it. I just didn't connect with it because of it. Okay. I never saw anything more than what they were giving me.
Interesting. I do have to agree on what you're saying about the relationships being underdeveloped. I was definitely wanting a lot more from the Hank and the Zoe Kravitz relationship.
For sure.
I was wanting more between Hank and the friend of the bartender character, which like they had interactions that like made it seem like they were good friends, and then other times it made it seem like he was an employee there. So it was just a relationship that wasn't defined well. But overall, like putting that aside, I had a great time with it. I disagree with you calling Austin Butler's performance one note. I think there's a decent amount of emotion behind it, and I am really excited to see where he's going to go as an actor, just because he's still so fresh in his career. I think he's going to go places. I'm really excited to see his future roles. It's definitely not his best role by any means, but it's different from his other roles, and I think it had a lot of substance to it. I think Matt Smith was a standout. I think the action set pieces were cool. I think Vincent D'Onofrio and Liev Schreiber, they played the two rabbi characters. They weren't in the movie much. I think they were really funny. Bad Bunny was in this movie. He didn't do much, so he was kind of a nothing character. The cop character was kind of a nothing character. It definitely, talking about it, it's not as good as maybe I remembered it, but it was still a good enough time where it's worth watching.
One thing you mentioned about Austin Butler's performance, you said he was a fresh actor. Bro was in Hannah Montana, like when that show was going on. I don't know how fresh of an actor he really is.
Well, okay. Fresh as in fresh to the public. Like, he's just now, getting big. Yeah.
What I could say is I don't think the writing of this film really helped his performance at all. I think that's like the worst part of this film is it's just the writing, the dialogue between the characters and what they're doing. They do say funny things sometimes, and they have like the feeling of like wanting the audience to laugh at a certain thing. There's a specific line in the beginning of the film, which I guess isn't a spoiler, where like a side character, a joke side character says like, "Oh, I make websites," like as a joke. It makes sense in context. And
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then like the characters like keep going, like say it like 2 or 3 times as an inside joke, but I never felt like that line was funny. And I never felt like any of the characters really thought it was funny either, other than like they just kept saying that it was funny. And I think that's my main issue with this film is that like none of the stuff that they do, they keep insinuating to emotion. They keep insinuating to like, for things to be that you're supposed to feel them. But I never really felt what the film wanted me to feel.
I see. I feel like a part of this movie that's kind of hard to discuss is that to really get into the meat and potatoes of the movie, it's very spoilery. So I was just wondering, do you want to move into spoilers so we can kind of give our full thoughts? Okay, perfect. So in that case, this is going to be our spoiler warning. Let's get right into it. I was shocked by Zoe Kravitz dying.
Same.
Less than halfway to this movie. I did not think it was going to be real. I thought she was going to survive. I thought she was faking her death. Something, either this or that. I did not see her dying literally like 40 minutes, 50 minutes into the movie.
No, real. Her presence is definitely, or her absence in the film is definitely felt, but I think her death is really when my problems... No, actually that's not true. Her death is when like my problems kept like cementing, but my real like main issue with the film started when bro got like beaten down and then he got like kicked, his liver got removed in surgery or something, like either his liver or his kidney, I don't really remember. Austin Butler's character, I mean.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then they mention Zoe Kravitz characters mentions that like, oh hey, like these are the things you can't do anymore because you don't have a kidney or you don't have one of your kidneys, and she says don't drink alcohol forever. And it's like
or
a main,
you will die, or your body cannot process this.
Yeah, or your body cannot process it.
It will be poison to you.
And in that moment, it's taken seriously. Bro dumps out all of his alcohol. Bro throws it all away. He means to be sober, and then at the end of the night, he goes to a bar looking not for a drink, but like for, I guess, for the plot to continue, and then eventually they convince him for a drink. And here in the theater, I'm sitting here, I'm thinking like, okay, cool. So this is when the actual this is when the ball is gonna start rolling on shit happening in the film. But then he just drinks, and then he just keeps drinking, and then he throws up, and then he's fine the next day. And
it's never addressed again. Yeah,
it's never addressed again.
That did bother me. I thought that was stupid. I thought it was really stupid.
And he keeps moving like an athlete throughout the whole film, even though bro just had like kidney surgery and has stitches and is like basically internally bleeding, but nobody's acknowledging it. And that's really my main problem with this whole movie. Is just, I feel like nothing had consequences. Nothing at all. I feel like it was way too obvious that the Austin Butler character was going to be fine by the end of the film. No, people kept dying. Zoe Kravitz died. The police lady died. All of these characters died, and nothing came of it. Bad Bunny died, exactly, and nothing came of it. They came and went. You said they were nothing characters, and I 100% agree. And that's what I think my problem is, that like I kept waiting for things to happen, especially because they kept building up interesting things. I was waiting for something to happen with the cat. I was waiting for something to happen with the alcohol. Something to happen with these characters dying. With the, I don't know, anything really. But it just kept going and ignoring all of these previously built up moments. And I'm really just here like, okay, but then like nothing matters. Like there is no point to any of this. I know he's gonna be fine. I know the bad guys are gonna lose, and I know the good guys are gonna win, and that's it. Like, you know, that's and I was just over it by the end of it.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, it felt long, so I was definitely, by the end, I was like, okay, this needs to wrap up.
Real.
But maybe I'm talking about it, maybe I'm liking the movie less and less. You're kind of selling me on this maybe not being as good as I remember. I did watch this, like, when did I see this? On Saturday, maybe? Or on Sunday? Sure. So it's been a few days at this point. And I've mostly had positive thoughts on this movie, but now, like, I'm really thinking about every little detail, and maybe it doesn't work as well as I thought as I thought it did. I still had fun with it. I think Austin Butler was great in it. I think Zoe Kravitz was really, really good in what she was given. I think, like I said, Vincent D'Onofrio and Leo Schreiber were fun, and then other than that, and Matt Smith, and then other than that, it falls apart for me.
For sure.
So maybe it's not as good as I originally was thinking.
I mean, I still see why you had fun, and I'm not going to deny that, like, there is an energy to this film that, like, I that carries it through, especially with like the music and the editing and some of the camera work and cinematography. It looks really nice. Like the film itself is like shot really well.
That's true. It did look really nice, and the music was really nice too.
Yeah, that too. I will say the camera work does get a little repetitive during some scenes, and just I feel like it just kind of zooms in and zooms out a lot. Like we kind of get the bit, but there is an energy to this film for sure, which is I feel like which is what disappoints me about it more than anything is like I felt like there are aspects and there is a potential to this movie that like that it could be something like really interesting or at least fun, at least like a good, like genuinely good movie, but I really feel like it's squandered, and I'm honestly disappointed in Darren Aronofsky because I've seen a few of his films. I've seen I guess arguably his best ones. I've seen Black Swan and Requiem for a Dream. I love Requiem for a Dream. It's great. And I have not seen The Whale, so I guess I'm assuming that he's just kind of lost the sauce in his older age. He's not even that old, but I think bro's just lost the sauce.
I definitely think really that some directors have an expiration date, as terrible as that is to say, where it's like, once you get to a certain point, maybe you shouldn't be making movies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't tell you one off the top of my head, Maybe M. Night Shyamalan, although I really did like Trap, but I know a lot of his like more recent movies have not been working, and people have been saying that he really fell off. So I
Sure.
just think once you make a certain amount of movies, you should quit while you're ahead, I guess.
For sure. I mean, yeah. At this point, it just feels like they're just making movies because it's the only thing that they know how to do, and it's fine. You know, they certainly exist, but it's not getting any. It's not getting any praise, and it's not like these
Yeah,
movies need to get praise to like have a reason for existing. But just don't waste my time. And I feel like this film really kind of just wasted my time.
yeah. My biggest takeaway from this movie is that Austin Butler and Matt Smith need to play like roommates and
Yes.
like
In
comedy.
something.
I think
In
they
anything,
would
really.
like they played off each other really well. They had really good comedic timing together. They need to play like best friends. They gotta play something together to where they could really utilize that. I think Austin Butler could be really funny. I think he should try a comedy.
For sure. I think, I mean, in general, yeah, 100%. He's a good straight man. He's a good straight man to Matt Smith's, like, crazy, kooky Britishness. I'm down with it.
Do you have anything else that you want to add before we wrap up this episode?
Um, Not really. I think that's pretty much all I had to say about Caught Stealing. I just expected more, and I ended up with less. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I guess this is one of those movies where you don't really want to think about it much because it will get worse in your head over time. So let's move on to our final segment of the show where we're going to talk about what we plan to watch this upcoming week. So one thing that I'm looking forward to watching is The Long Walk, which is a new film. I know it releases on September 12th, but I plan to catch an early screening of it tomorrow. And it is a movie based on a Stephen King novel. It has Mark Hamill in it, and it has David Johnson, who played the synthetic in the Alien Romulus movie. All I know is that they just have to keep walking for the entirety of the movie. So I'm a little nervous that I might be bored, but it also could be a cool idea. I've read some really good things and read some pretty not good things, so it looks like it's a divisive movie. I'm curious to see what it's going to be. I was talking with you earlier before we started recording about this movie. You are aware of it too, so we'll see how it turns out. Yeah,
I'm excited for it. I think because of that premise of like it's just people walking, like objectively that sounds boring to me too. But I think the writers and director, I don't know who's directing it. I think they're aware of the fact that's a pretty boring premise to begin with, so they're gonna up the ante with it. And Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, which I will look up his name right now, is in it. Which I'm really excited for because I really liked his performance in Licorice Pizza. And so yeah, he's really the one that's really getting me to want to watch this movie, and I will eventually.
Interesting. So what about you? What do you plan to watch this week?
Cooper Hoffman, by the way, that's his name.
Cooper Hoffman. Okay.
I'm gonna watch on Friday. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna watch Jaws on a beach and an outdoor screening. And I'm very excited for that. I'm gonna watch it with my girlfriend, and we're gonna have like a little picnic thing, and I'm just excited to.
That's so
I don't
cool.
know what. Yeah, watch this movie in that sort of on a beach environment, probably most likely at night too. It'll be a weird experience. Who knows what'll happen? But I think that'll be nice.
That's really cool. That's exciting.
Yeah.
The only thing
I've also
done
never
similar-
seen Jaws. So
You've never seen Jaws? Okay.
I've never seen Jaws ever, so this will be my first experience with it.
That's cool. I hope you enjoy it. I've done things similar when they released the Meg 2, but that movie sucks, and Jaws does not suck. So hopefully you enjoy it.
Hopefully. I have gone to like these outdoor movie screenings before at if I'm not mistaken, not Union Square.
Lincoln Square?
Washington Square.
Washington
here
Square.
in New York, which is where I am filming or I am recording this, and it was kind of disappointing. I don't know if it was because of my placement, my seating, the time of day, whatever. I just couldn't really hear the movie, and it was a foreign film. It was, what was it? Cinema Paradiso. So I was just kind of disappointed from that experience, but I hope, I hope this time will be earlier. It'll be less noisy, and we won't be in a city, and it'll be nice. Yeah, who knows?
That's really cool. So that's a wrap on episode 3 of Popcorn Problems. Thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, you're a real MVP. We will be back next week, breaking down Splitsville, which is the new film starring Dakota Johnson and Nicholas Braun. In the meantime, please hit us up on socials at Popcorn Problems Pod and let us know what you thought of Caught Stealing. Don't forget to follow, rate us 5 stars on whatever platform you're using, and DM us your hottest takes and suggestions to be mentioned in the next episode. See you guys next week.
See ya. Have a good one.